Experiencing some technical difficulties here, possibly.
And we are back. More technical difficulties. We apologize, but score 27-0, 9 minutes, 50 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. UCLA mounting a bit of a drive here, 1st and 10. They'll keep it on the ground this time, not going to go anywhere. They're lucky to have that one back up to the line of scrimmage, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 10.
Yeah, we apologize for the inconvenience there. Missed a 3-and-out by the UCLA Bruin offense, and a dominant drive by Washington to put them up 27-0. This is going to be a tall task for the Bruins to be able to come back, but they must not think that this game is over if they want to come back into this game. It's only a 4-possession game. Very, very doable if they're able to score here on this drive.
Nico dropping back, fires this one down the sideline. Oh, a batted away by the defender. No flags on the play.
Yeah, the ref's just allowing for a lot of hand fighting down the field. DB's able to look back, but didn't really get a hand up. I think that could have been called there. But nonetheless, they let him play it out, let him fight it out, and is bringing up a 3rd and long here for the Bruins here on their own 40-yard line. Critical play here for the Bruins if they want to be able to get back into this game. Cannot allow Washington get a second possession here with 9 minutes to go left here in the third quarter.
3rd and 10 here, ball at the 40-yard line. Lava feeling the pressure. He's going to go down. A sack for the Husky defense. And that's going to be big for Washington. Going to force the ball into the hands of the Huskies on a punt.
And Nico is down. He's down on the ground. Got crunched. Looked like his leg might have twisted a little bit wrong. Not what you want to see as a Bruin fan, seeing Nico down on the ground.
Yeah, Nico still on the ground. Kind of got folded in between those two defenders on the sack.
Scary sight as Jerry Newhigh's the offensive coordinator. Nico's brother, Madden, out on the field with Nico right now, who looks to be in a lot of pain. Scary sight here on the field. But now you have to move on. And what is this looking now for the freshman quarterback, Luke Duncan? Luke Duncan's going to have to come in here, even if Nico's okay, which we're hoping Nico's okay. Even if he is okay, Luke's got to come in for at least a play. And Luke was able to play all right last week against Ohio State when Nico was out with that concussion. We'll see if he's able to mount a comeback here for the Bruins. But no matter what, it is going to be 4th down and long, forcing the punt, which will give Nico enough time to get checked out and possibly be back for the next drive. We do not know the severity of this injury, as more and more trainers and players are heading out onto the field right now to check on Nico. It's not looking like a good sight. Wasn't too sure if it was a leg injury or a upper body injury. We will keep you posted on that front. But if you're UCLA, punting the ball back again once more, down 27-0, you got to get something out of your defense here. UCLA has just Washington has just moved the ball very, very well on this drive, or on their previous drive, scoring with ease. And UCLA didn't have an answer. So we'll be able to see what they're able to do here as Nico's able to stand up on his own power.
Looks like he's also walking with minimal assistance.
Looking to be possibly a re-aggravation of that concussion. He was crunched between two Washington defenders. Something to keep an eye on. We'll keep an eye on that tent, the blue medical tent that has just gone up for Nico, as he will enter there to check on him. And now the question is, what will Luke Duncan look like here for the Bruins? Looked all right last week. Wasn't asked to do too much, but didn't make any mistakes in doing so.
16 for 23 in that game against Ohio State on the road. 69.6% completion percentage. Had a touchdown, no interceptions, 154 yards. And it also begs the question for next week against USC. Do you play Nico even if he's good to go in a game that doesn't quite matter? I mean, it matters for the rivalry. It matters for school pride, but do you risk throwing him out there?
I think if you're Nico, you want to play if you're able to go. You want to be the guy. With a lackluster season that's been here, there's a lot of questions about whether or not Nico is the answer here. Obviously, he was the big story coming into this season, transferring from Tennessee. Would he be able to come back to his hometown, to come home to UCLA and revive this program? And obviously, things just hasn't worked out this season. So if you're Nico and you're able to play next week, you might be fighting for a job.
Punt team on for UCLA. Kick is up. Corralled about a yard past the 31-yard line of the Huskies. And again, they've constantly had pretty good field positioning for all of their drives.
Yeah, Washington is in firm control of this one. Up 27-0 with the ball back with 8.5 left to go in the third quarter. You keep this ball on the ground. You don't force Williams to do anything stupid. Test this defensive line that was penetrating a lot in the first quarter. Hasn't really stood the test so far in the second quarter and now early third. We'll see what Washington's able to do here. Up 27-0.
Snap, faking the pitch backwards. William Jr. has a wide open man. He's got the first down, past the 50. Big gain for the Huskies there. Had a wide open man open just in the middle of the field.
Yeah, that was Desmond Roebuck coming across on a crossing route. Nobody picked him up. Williams on the bootleg play action pass. Didn't have to make it too hard. Just tossed it right to him. Let him get a first down. Now into UCLA territory on the 45-yard line. Driving up 27-0.
Roebuck now leads the team in this game with 35 yards receiving. Get a little movement here from the Huskies at the line. Williams Jr. this time rolling out to the right. There's a flag on the play. Completes a pass. That's going to be good for about 15, almost 20 yards, but there was a flag behind the pocket.
Yeah,
we'll see where they throw this.
Pretty clear holding call on the running back as Williams is rolling out of the pocket. Easy for the back jugs to see. Through it. Now it's going to be a first down, first down and 20 for the Washington offense.
Going to be good for the Bruins, but I mean, still a good pass, good catch. This offense is in a bit of a rhythm even with that penalty. We'll see what they can cook up here. 1st and 20, staring at a long first down. They're going to run the ball. This one out for a gain of about 4.
Jordan Washington with a nice bounce back play here where he had the holding call. Was able to pick up a few yards, make this a manageable, well, I say manageable, but it's a 2nd and 16, 15, 2nd and 16, 15, whatever it is. We'll see what Washington elects to do here. Roebuck has just been tearing up this UCLA defense up to this point, especially on this drive. Yeah, we'll see if they decide to go back to him here on 2nd and long.
Yeah, the true freshman from Arizona. This one, a lot of time in the pocket. Fires this one way deep down the field. An open man, underthrown. But it is going to be caught. Had a lot of room, slightly underthrown, but caught up by the 10.
Yeah, wide receiver number 8, Chris Lawson, climbing the ladder on an underthrown ball, is able to come down with it with Key Lawrence, the safety, putting some pressure on there. You wonder how and why that ball was underthrown. Possibly the feet weren't set. Easily could have been a touchdown. Lucky break for for UCLA there to force Washington to now be first and goal from the 9-yard line.
From the gun, looking towards that corner of the end zone, not going to throw it. Rolling out to his left, a flag on the play towards the pylon. He's into the end zone, but a flag on the play. Looks like it's not going to count. We'll see what they call here.
Pretty clear holding call up top by the offensive lineman. It's going to be that left tackle of theirs, Carver Willis, who did go down with an injury earlier in the game, was able to return. He had a guy open. He had his running back, Muhammad, open in the back corner of the end zone on a little wheel route. Elected not to throw it, take it himself, was able to get into the end zone with a little bit of help from the holding call. Penalties have been hurting the Washington Huskies on this drive.
Yeah, 2 holding penalties have cost them so far. Cost them a big gain earlier. Now cost them a touchdown. I feel like this holding call was a little bit more of a factor in the outcome of the play than the last, though. Williams Jr. lines up under center. Play action play here. Fires, wide open man at the goal line. Diving touchdown, Huskies.
Roebuck is dancing in the end zone, hitting every dance imaginable for his first score of the game. He just was wide open, and that was all due to the crossing routes that have just been plaguing this defense this entire game. Washington realizes that they're in man coverage with a little bit of a pre-snap motion. Is able to run those crossing routes, rubbing the defenders, creating that space for Roebuck to be able to get in for the easy score to put them up, hopefully now 34-0 if they're able to make this PAT.
Gross with the PAT. That is good. Score now 35-0. Big drive from Washington. They passed 3 for 3, 83 yards. Only ran the ball 1 time for 5. I mean, man, what a drive. They're starting to get into that groove. I mean, it's still early in this second half. 5 minutes, 24 seconds left to go. You might see them throw in some backups at the end of this game.
Washington will start to get a lot of their guys reps and protecting their starters for Oregon next week, most likely. Here for UCLA, you're fighting for pride right now. It's like I said, it's not over until it's over. We've seen crazier comebacks before. But a lot of the fans have already started to clear out and headed towards the exits here in the Rose Bowl and possibly the last game here for the Bruins.
Yeah, like you mentioned, a lot of these fans that I talked to earlier with the state, of the team, they're not totally impressed. They're not totally satisfied. So they said, one of the reasons they come out is to tailgate. And, with the move to SoFi, there would be no tailgating. One of the big influencing decisions. So for a lot of these fans, it could be their last game here supporting UCLA.
Yeah, definitely a sad sight to see a lot of the Bruin fans already walking out of the stadium on possibly the last time here. But if you're a UCLA football team, you are focused on what is at hand right now, and that is a 34-0 deficit at the moment. All you can be telling your guys right now is taking it one play at a time. We have not seen Nico come out of the blue tent just yet. So we might see quarterback and freshman, number 12, Luke Duncan at the helm for the Bruins as he's standing there ready to go in. Nico is not yet out of the tent.
And you know what? Even if, Nico is cleared for this game, which I doubt he will be, probably don't throw him in just with how this game is going. Maybe to preserve his health, also get some other guys in this game. I don't think they throw him out there.
If Luke Duncan is able to come in, give a little bit of a spark to the Bruins, and lead a comeback, you question whether or not there might be some quarterback controversy entering next season, whether or not Nico will decide to stay. And also, his fellow brother, Madden. who transferred here earlier with Nico this season. Five minutes and 24 seconds left to go in the game, or in the third quarter, excuse me. Washington up 34-0 with an impressive lead. This game was 13-0 entering 2 minutes. Quickly turned for the UCLA Bruins.
The kick to the Bruins going to be taken out of the end zone. Working his way over to the left side of the field, going to get brought down shy of the 20-yard line. The return man number 21. I think that was Javion Thomas, the running back. We haven't seen much of him tonight. It's mostly been Woods and then some of Berger. Thomas getting some time on the returning end of things.
Yeah, and that's probably due to the increased role that Anthony Woods has earned himself over these past few games, with just explosive plays that has kept UCLA's offense having that little bit of a spark. But now here we have Luke Duncan here at quarterback.
Duncan, first play, rolling out to the right on the play action. That pass is going to get dropped. It was a short pass, about 2 yards past the line of scrimmage, just out of the hands of the receiver.
Yeah, as a receiver, that's one that you got to make, but Duncan put a little bit too much on that, a little bit too much mustard, if you ask me. As a quarterback, you got to realize that you got to give these balls to the receivers in a way that they can actually catch the ball. And when you're 5 yards away from the receiver and you're throwing it as hard as you can, probably not going to end up in the receiver's hands. That's just a little bit of jitters coming out of Luke Duncan, getting that first throw out of the way. Now setting up 2nd down and 10 with 5 minutes to go left in the third quarter.
UCLA on their own 19-yard line. Duncan this time going to give it to the back. They're going to push that out for about 4 yards. That was Woods with the ball. And it looks like there's going to be a flag. I believe it's going to be on the Huskies. A little bit of a pageantry there from the tackle, Cortland Ford. Kind of little flop there. We'll see what they call this. He kind of took a dive.
Yeah, looking like dancing like the stars out there, am I right? Like, not the only UCLA Bruin that is currently participating in some dancing activities. But it is now given the UCLA Bruins a first down and some life here with Luke Duncan in at quarterback. Nico's still not out of the blue medical tent.
So that's going to be a first down after the penalty for an unsportsmanlike conduct on Washington. What a play of events there for the Bruins. Free first down. Duncan snaps the ball. A handoff again. That's going to get disrupted at the line of scrimmage. It was Berger on the run. Not going to go very far with that one. That'll bring up a 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Alex McLaughlin, the safety for Washington, has just been all over the field. He's the guy who made the play for them on that field goal block. Well, not field goal block, but the field goal fumble, you should say, returning it all the way for a touchdown. He has played amazing tonight, always near the line of scrimmage. Now setting up a 2nd and long here for the Bruins.
Bruins will motion a man over to the right. Duncan fires this one. That's going to be off of the hands of the receiver as well. 2 incompletions for Duncan, both of them off of the hands of the receiver.
Yeah, that's one that Peterson has to make. There's no question about that. And for that exact reason, Peterson is now headed out of the game. Perfect throw by Luke. Maybe it might have been a little far out, but if it hits your hands, you better catch it. And now setting up what could have been a 2nd and manageable is now a 3rd and long here for the Bruins.
Third down, Duncan. So far, 0 for 2. He's going to want to throw this one again. Felt the pressure, fired over the middle and complete. A great catch down at the 40-yard line. What a throw by Duncan and what a catch by Mokiao Atimalala to get that first down.
Just a terrific job from Luke, standing in the pocket, saw the blitz coming, and the most important thing, he saw where the blitz came from that nickel position, and was able to deliver the throw right to where that nickel should have been, allowing for the first down. Just a terrific throw, standing in the pocket for Luke. A little bit of life here for the Bruins now. 1st and 10 on the 39-yard line of Washington here with 3 minutes and 54 seconds left to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, great pass there. 24 yards complete to Mokiao Atimalala. Like you said, Duncan did a great job. He felt that pressure, was staring right at it. And, you know, a lot of players, when they feel that pressure right in their face, it impacts the throw. Here's a run. Going to go about 2 yards to Berger. But yeah, a lot of quarterbacks, they feel that pressure, they see it coming at them, and, you know, it kind of gets in the way of the throw, but he did a good job of standing, taking that hit, and completing the throw.
Yeah, you're just seeing poise out of a freshman quarterback that you don't normally see. Actually, last time you saw poise out of the quarterback was a couple weeks ago. We're here with Nebraska with TJ Latifin at quarterback, the true freshman. So Luke playing well up to this point, not making the mistakes. We'll see what he's able to do here on the rest of the drive.
Duncan through the air. That's complete. Has a lot of room. Mikey Matthews to the end zone. Touchdown, Bruins. Their first of the night.
Great pass. Great call. Great job for the UCLA Bruins. Luke standing in the pocket, realizing it was an all-out blitz. Washington wants to get pressure on this young quarterback. He is not phased whatsoever. Takes his one step and gets this ball out quick on a slant route, leading to the score for the Bruins.
What a pass by Duncan. 37-yard touchdown to Mikey Matthews. Had that fumble earlier in the game, and now he's scored. So we get set for Bagani to kick the extra point. Bruins finally on the board, finding some luck here with their freshman quarterback.
Yeah, Duncan's out there playing like he has nothing to lose, because he doesn't. He doesn't have anything to lose. He's sitting behind the guy that they just paid $2 million to. Luke Duncan has no pressure on him whatsoever right now to go out and play.
It looks like Nico is out of the tent. No pads on. As the kick is good for UCLA. That changes things. 7-34. They cut into that big deficit. Like I mentioned, Nico out of the tunnel, walking with a couple of trainers, no pads, no helmet. Looks like he's done for this game.
Yeah, looks like he might have possibly gotten another concussion, which is you do not want to see out of your quarterback. 2 concussions within a couple weeks. Very, very, very scary for Nico. Prayers are with him. But Luke Duncan stepping in for the Bruins into a very hopeless situation, some might say, into a game where they were down 34 points, giving them a little bit of life. And now, if UCLA is able to get a stop here, and UCLA is able to score again, we might be looking at a game once again. We'll see what happens here. The kickoff coming in about 2 minutes.
Gonna rely on the defense here, but it feels like they're playing in this game mostly just to show, hey, we're not gonna sit back and just let this happen. Also gonna be a nice showing for Duncan, show what he can do. Let's see, they might even throw in some other guys. They got some guys behind him. Yeah, guys like Madden, Pierce Clarkson, maybe even Hasselbeck. We'll see who they throw in, or if they just stick with Luke Duncan. I mean, he had a phenomenal drive. As we await the kickoff here, Duncan on that last drive, 2 for 4, 61 yards and a passing touchdown. I mean, in the whole game, Nico had 69 yards until he came out, although he also had 16 yards with his legs. But so far, pretty good for Duncan. And those 2 incompletions weren't really bad incompletions. They were on the receiver's hands.
Yeah, those 2 balls should have been caught, weren't, leading to the stat line, lying a little bit for it being 2 for 4. But obviously, Duncan stepped in and played amazing. What a drive. The poise Washington, realizing that they had a young quarterback back there, brought the heat, brought the pressure. Luke was able to stay in that pocket, deliver a nice ball, allowing the UCLA Bruins to get on the board here now late in the third quarter. Now the score being 34-7.
So we get set. Both teams heading back out on for the kickoff.
This is going to be a very big drive. Well, every single drive, excuse me, is going to be very big for the Bruins from here on out. This Bruin defense, if they can return to the form that they were in the first quarter, we could be looking at a second half comeback, and all of these UCLA fans might be wanting to come back into the stadium. We'll see.
Really going to rely on that defense. So here's the kick. That one going to bounce out of the end zone for the touchback. Oh, a little bit of scuffling going down there on the return, but nothing going to come from it.
Yeah, it's been chippy all game, and the later it goes, the more tensions and emotions rise. Both teams need to keep themselves in check to not allow for stupid penalties. If you're Washington, don't allow yourself to get ejected before a big game like Oregon next week, or even allow for UCLA to have a possibility of a comeback. And if you're UCLA, these dumb penalties will ruin your chances of ever coming back in a game like this. Down 34-7 here late in the third quarter.
Williams Jr. standing in the pocket, finds an open man, and he's got that complete. That's going to be good for a first down for the Huskies. Completed that pass over the middle and heading towards that left sideline.
Yeah, Williams just standing in the pocket, knowing he's going to get hit and crunched, and delivering a terrific ball to the star freshman, Roebuck. He's been getting a lot of bucks out there. A lot of money rolling his way.
Roebuck's been doing a great job filling that gap that they have with the injury of Denzel Boston. And here's a big rush up the middle. That's good for a first down and an extra 5. And that's another first down, 2 in a row for the Huskies.
Yeah, Muhammad just keeping his feet moving on that one. High stepping his way for the first down for Washington, who just continues to roll here in the second half. UCLA's defense has just not had an answer for them.
Huskies out a yard past midfield. Williams adjusting the play, gets the snap. I mean, look at that time. Fast is over the middle to a wide open man. Another first down after a gain of about 15, and it's just been 3 incredible plays for the Huskies, and they're just marching down the field.
Yeah, just a pretty play call there. UCLA came out in a cover 4, allowing for Washington just to have 2 crossers going across the middle with a little hitch, just a little sit down sitting there. Roebuck, again, the first down for Washington. 1st and 10, driving down the field.
Roebuck, 5 receptions, 79 yards. Felt the pressure, fires this one up, and tipped but not intercepted. Williams Jr. felt the pressure, throwing off of his back foot and nearly picked off by the defender. Number 2 for UCLA, that's Andre Jordan Jr.
Yeah, that's not a throw you want to see your quarterback making right now. It was intended for Omani Evans, number 5, the receiver, but throwing off of your back foot across the field probably isn't the best decision to make as a quarterback. Now here's 2nd and 10 from the 34-yard line.
Looks like they're going to run the ball here up the middle, wide open lane for Washington. Jordan Washington with a big rush there, and it feels like Washington's just been getting these giant 14, 15-yard plays on this drive and just getting first down after first down after first down.
Yeah, just a terrific job by the interior offensive lineman here, just opening up a huge hole, allowing for Washington just to run through with ease. He wasn't touched until he hit the 3rd level, until he hit the secondary. And if you're UCLA, that is not a winning formula to get back in this game.
4 first downs for Washington in this drive. Here's a pitch back. Going to get tackled for a loss behind the scrimmage, a loss of about 1, maybe half a yard on the play. Tackle made by Jalen Woods, the linebacker, part of that duo. They run 3 linebackers, but part of that St. John Bosco duo, John Vaughns and Jalen Woods.
Yeah, just a great play there by Woods to be able to come back on the backside and trip him up. As now we enter the 4th quarter with Washington rolling down the field, up 34-7 entering into the 4th quarter.
I mean, how important is it for this UCLA defense to hold them if they want to win? I mean, the light is quickly fading, but, I mean, the defense is going to be crucial in this game.
Yeah, if they're able to hold them to a field goal, they keep it within a 4-possession game, which is still a tall task at that. But it's at least a little bit more manageable than a 5-possession game. If Washington is able to punch this one in, it's going to be all but over here in Pasadena at the Rose Bowl for the Bruins. And Washington can set their sights on Oregon next week, looking to end their season off strong.
So that'll be the end of the 3rd quarter. So we get set for the 4th Rose Bowl. Looking like about half of the half of the fans that were here at the beginning.
Yeah, definitely. It's sad to see a lot of the fans walking out as we speak, but it speaks to the frustrations that these UCLA Bruins have gone through throughout the years, and even this year specifically, with just an up and down season. It came in with high expectations this season with Nico Iamaleava, the transfer from Tennessee, at the helm for the Bruins. But now, this might just put the cap on a disappointing season for the Bruins.
So we get set here for both teams to take back the field. About a minute, 50 seconds left. Interesting to see what they'll do for the rest of this game. I assume they're probably going to stick with Duncan, but I would not be surprised if we start seeing some other guys getting some time, showing off what they can do. Up to this point, it's mostly just been Nico at quarterback until he had that game missed with a concussion. That was the last game against Ohio State, which it was Duncan the entire game.
You know, even though UCLA may be down a lot right now, and a lot of fans may be leaving, but there is still some life out there. Some fans from the Bruins in the student section are holding it down for the Bruins, getting the crowd hyped. And we're, after an impressive drive so far from Washington, we're almost forgetting that Luke Duncan just had a terrific drive for the Bruins. And he will be at quarterback for the rest of this game for the UCLA offense. So even though UCLA might not be able to come back, it is good to see some life in this Bruin offense.
Bruins currently sit at 3-7 on the season, 3-4 in Big Ten play. They sit at the 12th spot in the Big Ten rankings. Here, this will be another Big Ten loss if they lose. Both of these teams have a bit of a history. Both come from the Pac-12 conference, along with USC and Oregon.
Yeah, there's a lot of history here between these teams and these schools. We'll see if Washington is able to put the nail in the coffin here by scoring a touchdown here at the start of the 4th quarter, up 34-7.
Washington, 2nd and 11. Here's the throw and a big hit. Wow, what a hit by Kanye Clark, the cornerback for the Bruins. I mean, that echoed throughout the Rose Bowl.
Wow, what a hit. What a read. Washington trying to get a little bit of a screen pass out to the receiver, Number 8, Chris Lawson, but it was immediately blown up by the freshman. Just a terrific play, terrific reaction, and that's exactly what you want to see out of this defense.
We have an injury on the field, and it looks like it is going to be Chris Lawson after that huge hit. I mean, I'm surprised he held on to that ball.
Yeah, definitely surprised he held on to it, but it looked like he just got the wind knocked out of him after a hit like that. Man, I would be on the ground for hours. But he's able to stand up, walk off the field. Looks like he's doing just fine. He just got the wind knocked out of him. And now it is going to be 3rd and 14 here for the Washington Huskies.
Ball on the 21-yard line. Williams Jr. gets set for the snap. There's the ball. Bruins sending pressure. This one towards the end zone. Flag on the play. Very clear. Defensive pass interference. Floated that ball up to the end zone, and it looks like it's going to be on Clark.
Yeah, Clark just had that terrific play last one, and now he is showing his freshman self with the inability to turn around and locate the ball. Clear push in the back of the end zone is now going to lead to what was a 3rd and 14. Will now be a 1st and goal for the Huskies. A terrible break here for the Bruins.
Bruins were getting kind of hot on defense. They had a couple of stops behind the line of scrimmage, and then they just make another mistake and automatic 1st down for the Huskies here. They're in striking distance of the end zone. Ball on the 6-yard line. They'll motion a man. Looks like they're going to run it up the gut. That one out to about the 5-yard line. Some penalty flags fly. It looked like it was Jonah Coleman on the rush, but after the play, things are getting chippy in the end zone.
Yeah, Amari Evans, the receiver from Washington, involved with a couple of players from UCLA. He was pushed late. Multiple flags fly. Lack of discipline that you do not want to see here from either team. We'll see what the call is on who it is on. It's often not the player who starts it, but the player that gets caught. And we'll see who got caught. Most likely will be a UCLA defender. Looked, might have been Key Lawrence, the safety. Wasn't too sure who was involved in that. So these will be offsetting penalties. A call on both Key Lawrence and Omari Evans of Washington. Those unsportsmanlike conducts after the play will offset, leading to a replay of the down. It is now going to be 2nd and 5. One thing to note, Coleman is in the game for Washington. Might be trying to pad the stats a little bit.
Very interesting to see, especially with the way this game is going and how late we are in the game. I feel like you wouldn't want to risk anything happening to him, especially with a big opponent in Oregon coming up.
Yeah, maybe trying just to instill some confidence in the man, even though he's got plenty of it, as he should, with the way he's played this season.
Looks like they'll give it to him, heading towards the end zone. Going to get brought down just shy, about a yard or two. And that's going to bring up 3rd down after the inside run by Coleman. Coleman coming into this game had 131 rushing attempts, 13 rushing touchdowns, 645 yards. Also 335s on receptions and 2 receiving touchdowns. So really all over the place for this Huskies offense, finally getting some chances late in this one.
Yeah, he's really just been electric this season. And looking to add another one to his totals right here as they get quickly to the line of scrimmage.
This one on again to Coleman. And again, it looks like he's going to be stopped shy of the end zone.
Look for Washington here to get quickly on the ball if they can. Washington taking their time now here on 4th and 1. Sending in a lighter package. Won't look like they won't be going under center for this one. But this is the exact stop that you need if you are UCLA. If I'm Washington, I'm almost taking the points here just to solidify the lead a little bit more, but giving a possible life to the Bruins here.
4th and 1, ball on the one. Again with Coleman once more. We'll see what the officials rule. No signal just yet.
It looked like as if he got in, but it looks like they might rule him just short. They're going to be talking about it right here. This would be a very late call. All the referees in there, and
it looks like they're going to rule him short.
A big stop here for the Bruin defense. And some life with 12 minutes to go left in the game. I for sure thought he got in. It really looked like he did.
It looked like he did. I mean, there was no call initially. I feel like the later the play goes on, the harder it is for a touchdown call to be given. And that's going to put the Bruins on the 1 yard line, but there is an official review going on right now.
We'll see if the call on the field stands, but oftentimes with these inside runs, it's going to be hard to get a view in to see if he was actually able to cross the goal line. And then the question is, when was the play called dead? Where was Coleman when the play was called dead? Because that is going to be the hardest thing to determine here for the refs. And now if you're Luke Duncan, if it call on the field does stand, you have the possibility to drive 99 yards to put another score on the board for your Bruins to instill a little bit of life, a little bit of confidence going into rivalry week next week against the USC Trojans.
That game will be played at the Coliseum, already on campus. The statue of the Bruin Bear, as well as the statue of John Wooden, and I believe the Jackie Robinson 42 are already covered. They've been covered since this week.
Gotta protect the statues. Looks like we're about to get a call on the field here, possibly quickly. But yeah, both of these teams playing USC and Oregon next week. Here's the call really quick. And they are going to rule it a touchdown for Coleman. It's going to add to his total this season. The official review reverses the call on the field, leading to yet another touchdown to put away this game for Washington. Now with the ability to go up 41-7 here with 13 minutes left to go.
Yeah, that's a big overturning. I mean, that's just taking the wind out of the sails for the Bruins. I mean, that wind's been gone.
For sure. A great call if you're a Washington fan, and a gut punch if you are a Bruin fan. And now with the PAT out here to make it 41-7 possibly. You're looking at Luke Duncan, the freshman quarterback in at the game for the Bruins. And all you're asking him to do is just show a little bit of life, show a little bit of spark for this team. And maybe take some momentum into USC next week, who played Oregon today and got swamped 27-42 up in Eugene today.
Trojans sit at 15 on the AP ranks. Oregon at 7. So two tough opponents coming up for these two teams. Gross on for the PAT. That one's up. And that one is good. The score, 7-41. Gross still perfect on his PATs for the season. And man, this Bruins team, this Bruins football program as a whole, not feeling too great right now.
For sure, and the fans are sure reflecting that. A chant for Fire Jarmon was heard throughout the stadium just a few seconds ago. Jarmon, the athletic director here at UCLA. A lot of fans questioning a lot of his decisions. The SoFi decision among one of those. But UCLA here right now, 41-7 is the score, with true freshman quarterback Luke Duncan in at quarterback, looking to give a little bit of life for the Bruins.
So we get set for the kickoff back to the Bruins here. Washington kicks off. This one will bounce out of the back of the end zone. Another touchback. 12 minutes, 53 seconds remaining here. What do you expect to see in this drive from Luke Duncan? Do you think they might run out some of that clock, or do you think they're really going to try and get this passing game going?
Well, if you're UCLA, you want to see what you have in this freshman quarterback in Luke Duncan. You already seen him against Ohio State last week, a very, very impressive team. And he played all right, you know? Didn't do too much, but didn't make any mistakes. And that's the biggest thing right now. You don't want to see him make any mistakes out there, but you want to give him a little bit of the offense just to see what he can do.
This one, a running play with Berger. They'll push that one out for about 5 yards. Good gain there from the back.
And now with Duncan at our quarterback and not having Nico back there, in a situation that you might be running no huddle, or you might now be huddling up every single play to allow the quarterback to get the play call in, to feel comfortable. So this might be a little bit different if Nico was still in at the game for the Bruins.
Duncan once more going to hand it off. That one only goes about 2 yards, and you get the feeling that the rest of this game might just be sort of showcase for Duncan, see what he can do. So far on the night, Duncan 2 for 4, 61 yards and a passing touchdown. But like we mentioned earlier, both of those incompletions, the throw wasn't too bad. The throw was, on the hands of the receiver, just had 2 unfortunate drops.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Just 2 unfortunate drops that are contributing to the stats for Duncan right now. But he has a chance to continue to show his talent here on this 3rd and short here for the Bruins.
Rolling out to his left. Quick throw. And it looks again like that one was off the hands of his intended receiver. Looked like he was trying to get that one out to Mokiao Atimalala.
Yeah, interesting play call here, rolling to your left. And a lot of hand fighting going on there from Washington's defense. Forcing a punt now here on 4th and 2 with 11:31 left to go in the game. Washington just in firm control of this one from here on out, it seems like, as Roebuck is back there to receive the punt.
3 and out from UCLA as we await the punt. 11 minutes, 31 seconds left to go in what could be UCLA's final home game playing in the Rose Bowl. This one up, drops down at about the 20, corralled in, and a good tackle and fumble. This one taken into the end zone. UCLA touchdown, fumble on the return.
A touchdown for the Bruins on a muffed punt. Roebuck caught it up high, was hoping to get a big return here, and just took one wrong step. UCLA was able to punch it out, recover it, and into the end zone for the score for the Bruins to give a little bit of life here in the 4th quarter.
Big play there for the Bruins. Looks like the ball was punched out, ended up getting taken back into the end zone.
The redshirt freshman Jameer Benjamin out of Lansing, Michigan, coming up with the score for the Bruins.
Kick is up and good. So 14-41 now for the Bruins after the special teams touchdown. Jameer Benjamin, redshirt freshman, like you mentioned, out of West Bloomfield High School. Great job of scooping that one up and taking it into the end zone. I believe it might have been Kanye Clark on that tackle, met the returner, kind of just lunged at him, able to maybe get an arm on his arm, release that ball. And boy, what a game this has been, all over the place.
For sure. UCLA getting a little bit of life here in the fourth quarter. Score is still down 14-41. Washington will look to run out a lot of the clock here if they can on this next offense possession. Keep the ball on the ground, keep that clock running, and get out of here with a win. But don't count UCLA out. We've seen crazier things. Well, this might be actually an insane comeback. Actually, it might have been one of the greatest comebacks ever if UCLA is able to pull it off. But nothing is impossible until that clock hits 0. UCLA with the special teams touchdown. Now giving the ball back to Washington on offense to try and run out the clock.
A minute, 30 seconds left to go until we kick things off. I mean, what a roller coaster this game has been. UCLA, they're still fighting. You know, they're showing, hey, we're still here. We're not just going to give up. Able to get it done on special teams.
Very true. A lot of this right now is going to be for pride for UCLA, fighting for pride and getting ready for next week against USC, a very formidable team. Your rival as well, your crosstown rival. So for Luke Duncan possibly starting at quarterback next week for the Bruins against USC, it'll be important to see the way that Jerry's able to use him this next couple of minutes in the closing minutes of the fourth quarter. And then for Washington, just an impressive, dominating second half here. Going into Oregon next week against the Ducks, led by Dan Lanning, a very, very formidable team that Washington will look to upset. Now, if Washington hadn't lost that game to Wisconsin, we could have been entering into a very, very interesting game here at the end of the season for Washington. But their playoff hopes are all but gone unless the committee decides to work a miracle and put them in the top 25 possibly, and then an upset win against Oregon thrusts them up. We'll see how things play out for Washington. But right now, Washington is feeling pretty good, up 14-41 with 11 minutes and 19 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter, about to get the ball back.
Washington has not been to the college football playoff since that 2024 season where they made the national championship led by Michael Penix. Was a Heisman candidate that year, losing out to Jaden Daniels. That was 2023 Heisman winner. Penix now with the Atlanta Falcons, and this Washington team trying to get back to that 2024 status of a team.
Yeah, obviously Kalen DeBoer left last season for Alabama, taking over for Nick Saban. The big shoes to fill down there for the Tide. And Jed Fish coming from Arizona, up from Arizona, to take over in Washington. And he has created himself a nice little program up here in Washington.
This one, a rushing play, breaking through tackles, out for a first down. Good for Washington. That was Muhammad.
Yeah, just a great pickup there from Muhammad, just keeping his feet running. Can't really ask more out of a running back right now. Just want to keep this ball on the ground, keep that clock running, get out of here with a win. You don't want to give the ball back to the Bruins with any more time to keep this game close.
They'll play Oregon in Washington. They'll have the home field advantage. A rush here, bouncing it out towards the left. That's going to be good for a gain of about 5. Again, they kept it with Mohammed.
Yeah, just allow for these big boys up front, that offensive line, to control this game for you. They're bringing in the heavy set right now here on 2nd and long. And Jonah Coleman also coming into the game, looking like he's getting warmed up next week for Oregon. Keeping this ball on the ground, just allow your offensive line to dictate the rest of this game for you. get out of here with a win and set your sights on Oregon next week.
Williams under center. He'll hand it off. This one to Evans. Evans gets the first down, and then a couple more yards came on the sweep from the side. That's going to be good for a first down.
Yep, and out goes Jonah Coleman. Coleman in there just for the distraction, which ended up working. The jet sweep coming across to Evans, able to pick up that first down. First down and 10 now on the 46-yard line of the Bruins for the Huskies.
Fresh set of downs here. 9 minutes, 30 seconds left to go in this game. Looking to throw here. Williams Jr. way back in the pocket. Lots of time. Fires down the field. Has an open man in the middle of the field. Again, going back to Roebuck. He's really just been all over the field tonight. And that's complete for another Huskies first down.
Yeah, Roebuck just playing terrifically well tonight. 5 catches for 79 yards and a touchdown so far tonight. Adding another one to his total right there. Just no answers for Roebuck and Williams tonight.
Here's a quick handoff to Roebuck. That's good for 4.
A little bit of trickery here from Washington to pick up a solid gain of about 4 yards for Roebuck. Now with 8 minutes and 27 seconds left here in the fourth quarter, you're looking to milk a couple minutes more off of this clock as we reach 10:45 here in Pasadena. It's a late one here.
Game started at 7:30. Now 8 minutes left to go in this game. They'll keep it on the ground with Muhammad. They'll bring this ball out to about 23, 24-yard line of the Bruins, getting dangerously close to that red zone.
I would be surprised if they pass this one. Keep it on the ground. You've been moving the ball well so far. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just keep this one on the ground, run some more clock, and set up a possible field goal opportunity if you're not able to pick it up.
Muhammad, the lone back. Looks like they're going to throw with this one. Rolling out to his right. Short pass is complete. That's good for the first down. Barreling into the end zone. Touchdown, Huskies.
Well, I was wrong. They decide and elect to go for the bootleg, the play action rollout pass, dump it off in the flats, and are able to roll into the end zone for the score. It's going to be number 86, the tight end, Decker DeGraff, scoring for the Bruins, breaking a couple tackles there. A little bit of a nice little move right there, and into the end zone he gets. To put them up now 47-14 with the possibility to make it 48-14 here with 7 minutes and 14 seconds left to go in the game.
That's the third reception of the night for DeGraff. He's up to 46 yards on the night. And a nice piece of running there after the catch, able to just barrel, use that big frame of his and work his way into the end zone for the 24-yard touchdown reception. 14-48 your score here with 7 minutes, 14 seconds left to go in this game.
Now, if you told me that this game was 13-0 with 2 minutes left to go in the first half, I wouldn't have believed you. Now looking at the score being 48-14, the play that changed it all was the fake field goal on 4th and 14. What would have been a long field goal still would have been a better decision to make than going for that on 4th and 14, allowing the Washington Huskies to recover the fumbled pitch, returning it to make it 20-0, which completely turned the tide of this game.
Yeah, going back to that Nebraska game and even that game last week, it felt like their second half, UCLA kind of stepped up in the second half. They didn't win those games, but they started playing better in the second half, right? The defense, was starting to get more on rhythm, but looking at this game, it kind of feels like the complete opposite. I mean, looking at the score by quarter, Washington scored 3 in the first and then 17 in the second, and now they've scored 14 in the third and another 14 in the fourth.
Yeah, definitely. at least UCLA's defense was off to a hot start tonight, which normally isn't the case. However, the offense was just not able to make up for it, and Washington made the correct halftime adjustments after being gifted that touchdown at the end of the half, putting out 20-0, which has now led to them completely controlling this game, making it 14-48. And that's exactly what Washington wanted to do, was to control this game. And they were able to do that because they were up 20. They were able to just pound the ball, run it, and build off of that, allowing for the play action pass. UCLA squandered the opportunities that they had in the first half, and Washington showing why they were a top 25 team just a few weeks ago.
As we get set for the kickoff soon to UCLA. 14-48, like you mentioned, 7 minutes, 14 seconds left. Looks like we're going to see more of Duncan as he's warming up on the sideline. Former 3-star recruit out of Miramonte High School. Now a redshirt freshman.
I look forward to seeing Luke on this drive. It's going to be very telling for the game next week if Nico's not able to go. Duncan has played well up to this point, hasn't made any dumb decisions, which is exactly what you want out of your quarterback. You just need your quarterback to be a game manager right now. But obviously missing that big playability that Nico can sometime bring to this offense. We'll see if Duncan's able to do that here on this drive now, down 14-48 with 7 minutes and 14 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter.
Duncan a bit more of a pocket passer than Nico. We know Nico likes to take off, use his legs. This one a touchback. Duncan, that last drive, did not complete his one attempt, 2 for 5. Both of those completions coming from that first drive he had. 61 yards and a touchdown. The offense is back out on for UCLA. They'll start from the 25.
Yeah, you're fighting for pride right here. You're fighting for confidence going into the next game against USC. And if you're Washington, you just want to get out of this game healthy. That's the biggest thing. Get those guys on defense some reps back there, some of your depth, and get ready for Oregon, which is going to be a tough task next week.
At least they'll be playing at home. They will have the home field advantage. Duncan stands in the pocket, delivers over to Matthews on the right. He's going to get brought down. Looks like couldn't even get back to the line of scrimmage.
It'll help the stats, though. Another completion. But obviously, it looked like it was actually a loss of a yard. Setting up 2nd and 11 here. Setting Duncan back a little bit, and they'll use the rest of the UCLA offense, forcing them to possibly have to air this one out right now.
Duncan from the gun. Takes the ball, surveys the field, fires down the field. And it looks like that'll be a completion and a first down. Pass was placed a little low, but still doable and catchable for the receiver, Quasi Gilmer.
Yeah, that's the exact place you want to put the ball. Don't want to put it too high to overthrow it. Don't want to put it too low to allow the linebackers. He was able to layer that in there. Just a perfect timing route that he was able to get in there. And Duncan, that is one thing we want to mention here. He does not have a lot of experience with these receivers. And that was one thing that was hurting Williams in the first half. He didn't have a lot of experience with the receivers with a lot of their top guys out. It's the same thing for here for Luke Duncan, who doesn't get a lot of the first team reps.
Duncan throwing again. This one batted and nearly intercepted by the Huskies. Got tipped and spun high up into the air. A diving attempt was unsuccessful by the Huskies, number 6.
Yeah, the Washington defensive line able to get a hand up there, bat that ball in the air, and give them a chance Looked like that was number 8 for Washington that almost got that pick, Tacario Davis. And now it's going to be second down and long for the Bruins.
Duncan again wanting to throw. Quick pass over to the left. That one complete. Able to take it out, pushing the pile. They'll take that to the 45. Looks like a gain of 6 or maybe 5 yards.
Yeah, number 24, Jonah Smith, was it, with the reception, I believe? No, sorry, number 22, Anthony Fry is the second with that reception there. And a gain of a couple yards right there. Setting up a third and manageable here for the Bruins, entering the 50-yard line-ish around. We'll see now with the clock winding down, with nearing 5 minutes to go in the game, with down 14-48. What can Luke Duncan hear in the empty set?
Duncan motions a man to the right. Gonna fire. That one low. Just hits the ground before it can get to the receiver. Intended pass for Anthony Fry. The second wanted to go back to him, but nothing going to come from it. That's going to bring up a 4th and 4. Looks like the offense still out there.
Yeah, Washington seeing the empty set, sending an all-out blitz, otherwise known as mid-blitz, as many Madden and college football video game players would know about mid-blitz. And Luke Duncan saw that, recognized it, had to get the ball out quick. Batted at the line of scrimmage, forcing the 4th and short here for the Bruins.
Duncan lines up. No running back. Fires this one down towards the sideline. A lot of contact. Going to be no flag. Wanted to go to Gilmer, but kind of stopped. There was some contact. Was heading up along that left sideline. The ball kind of just kept going where he stopped.
Yeah, you wonder if Gilmer had just continued just to fight for that ball to push through the contact, whether or not that would have been called, because it was deemed uncatchable by the refs. If there was a little more effort shown on that play, possibly could have gotten the call, but some miscommunication there between the freshman and the receiver. Now giving the ball back to Washington with 4 minutes and 50 seconds left, hoping just to run out the clock here and get ready for next week with the big matchup against Oregon. And Dante Moore, the former UCLA quarterback.
Defense out for UCLA. Washington ball at about the 45-yard line. Looks like a new QB in the game. They'll keep this one on the ground. That's not going to go very far. Looks like a flag on the play too.
Looks like in the realm of holding. We'll get the official call here right now. Or not. Another penalty against the Bruins. It's going to be a personal foul face mask. A 15-yard penalty. Moving the Washington offense deep into UCLA territory. Clock stopped at 4 minutes and 45 seconds left to go in the game. Washington looking to add to their total, but also run out this clock. The clock is now running as we get below 4 minutes and 35 seconds left. Washington gets the line. Williams under center.
This one a pitch backwards over to the left. Muhammad going to get taken down after a gain of about 5, maybe 6 yards.
Now it is first down, or second down, and long for Washington.
The quarterback is Kai Horton in the game. Taking over for Williams Jr.
Getting some reps.
Looks like they'll keep it again on the ground with Muhammad out. Gets that first down out past the 20-yard line.
The UCLA students getting hype right now, all congregated around the 50-yard line. Those that remain getting hype, cheering on this UCLA Bruin defense, which is now on their heels against the Washington Huskies and their backup quarterback. Washington looking to run out the clock, now getting below 3 minutes left to go in the game.
Quarterback is Kai Horton, the transfer from Tulane. They'll try to move the pile here. Looks like they'll push it out maybe 1 yard with the forward progress, but Horton only 5 for 8 coming into this game on the season. Not many attempts, not much playing time. Although in his last game he did have a rushing touchdown. He has 2 on the season and 29 attempts.
Yeah, this game could have gone a lot different. If you were to tell me that the final score would be 48-14 with 2 minutes left to go in the half, I would be shocked.
And there's a sack on Horton for the UCLA defense. Was rolling out to his left, just couldn't find anyone, had to take the sack.
Yeah, big play there for the Bruin defense, getting that sack there. Like I said, they're praying for pride at this point. Great sack to force it into a 3rd and long, and now we reach the 2-minute warning here in the 4th quarter, or excuse me, the 2-minute timeout as they call it in college football.
2-minute timeout here. We'll look to see what they do. If they get the first down, they're going to be close to the end zone. You got to wonder if they might try and go for it since they're so close, or if they'll go ahead and take what they got, 48, and take a couple knees.
Yeah, I think you just run this one here right now. Don't do anything too crazy. Don't want to disrespect the Bruins or your opponent like that. I would be shocked to see them try and go for the end zone here. And if they do, you might see a little more extracurricular activities from the UCLA defense if they decide to do so. But now with only 2 minutes left to go in the game, Luke Duncan will get an opportunity to run a 2-minute drill if Skipper and Neuheisel decide to give him the opportunity. It would be interesting to see what Duncan would be able to do with this rest of the offense, and they were able to put up 14 points. Well, 7 points. 7 points off of a turnover. But nonetheless, Luke Duncan has looked all right up to this point in the game, with Nico, of course, going out with what we suspect to be another concussion. Thoughts and prayers go out to Nico and the rest of his family, and hoping for a speedy recovery for him as UCLA sets their sights on USC next week, which will be played away at the Coliseum, which used to be, like you said in the beginning of the broadcast, the home of the Bruins.
USC and UCLA used to share the Memorial Coliseum Stadium. Started playing in the Rose Bowl since 1982, and soon when you Google UCLA Rose Bowl, it might show up 1982 to 2025.
If this is the last game here played at the Rose Bowl, it's a beautiful venue with beautiful fans hosting a beautiful game. As both teams now come out of the 2-minute timeout, it'll be 3rd down and 19, ball on the UCLA 27-yard line, with UCLA fighting for pride here on 3rd down.
Third and 19, ball on the 27. If they get the first down, it'll put them within the 10-yard line. Interesting to see what they do here on this 3rd down. 2 minutes left. They get the first down, it's all but over. If they don't, we'll see what UCLA does with the ball. Quick pass over to Roebuck. Screen pass not going to go very far. They'll get a gain of about 4 yards.
Looks like they will elect to go for it here. Possibly just to not add salt to the wound for the Bruins by kicking the field goal and creating this game longer than it has to be. They're going to run down as much clock as they can, it seems. And possibly just run this one here to give the ball back to the Bruins.
Interesting to know, 1:25 left on the clock. UCLA still has all 3 of their timeouts, electing not to use them. Looks like they're going to pass the ball. No, looks like, yes, a pass over to the sideline. And he's going to run out of bounds. Stop the clock at 1:06. Little play action bootleg. Looked like Horton was going to throw and then run, and decided at the last minute he's going to throw the ball.
Yeah,
that pass.
Some class shown there by Washington. Could have gone for the field goal. Could have added more points, put a 50 bomb up on the UCLA Bruins. Decided to elect to go for it on 4th and very long, giving the ball back to the Bruins. Let's see what Luke Duncan can do here with 1:06 left on the clock.
That'll start up the clock. Duncan just going to hand it off. Rush up the middle. The pile just kept moving.
Looks as though UCLA is going to get quickly here on the line of scrimmage. We will see a 2-minute drill out of Luke Duncan here.
2nd and 4. Duncan throws, but flags come in. He wanted the screen pass.
It's going to be a false start here. Looked like it was Garrett DiGiorgio, but could be wrong, number 72. It was a false start on the Bruins. It's going to be on actually number 74 for the Bruins. Julian Armella, which is now forcing the Bruins back with 41 seconds left to go in this game.
5-yard penalty that'll move them back, make it a 2nd and 9. The ball on their own 25-yard line. Duncan just going to hand this one off again. Pile moves 3 yards. That'll get the clock rolling. 17 seconds left to go here. Both teams slow, getting back up to that line.
And UCLA will not run another play here as the clock runs down to 0. The final score here in Pasadena, UCLA 14, Washington 48. A very different outcome, I would have said, if you told me that this was going to be the outcome at the end of the first half.
Anything to note heading into that game against USC next week?
No, against USC, obviously, the loss of Nico is going to be huge. All eyes going to be on Luke Duncan, the freshman, to step in and step up. All you can do now is step up and continue to move forward as a program.
Your final score here from the Rose Bowl, 48-14, in what could be the final home game here at America Stadium for UCLA. My name is David Matamoroz, joined by Shane Donovan. Thank you guys for listening. Good night.